All right, with us now is Congressman David Min, a Democrat from California, who we should note is on the Joint Economic Committee. Just one quick question on this inflation report that just came out, Congressman. Inflation may be a little hotter than expected, but basically in line. How do you think this hits your constituents?
Thanks so much for having me, John. And I actually am an alumnus of the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School, like Donald Trump. But unlike Donald Trump, I actually went to classes. It's very clear, economists and everyone else will tell you that Donald Trump's policies were disastrous. And, we can get into the specifics of the numbers, and your analyst did a good job of that. But the reality is that people are feeling this across the board, and we're feeling it on a number of fronts. It's not just food prices. It's just not just utility prices. Healthcare costs are going up. People are worried about paying the bills, paying their mortgages. Health insurance costs are about to spike a ton right now. People are starting to see that as well. And families are struggling right now. Even wealthy families are struggling to figure out how they're going to pay all the different things they're dealing with. And these are the result of intentional policy choices made by Donald Trump and House Republicans who decided that they were going to cancel a bunch of clean energy projects, which would make electricity costs a lot cheaper. They decided that they would give trillions of dollars to billionaires and cut Medicaid. Not extend the ACA tax credits, and we know that that's causing health insurance costs to go up. Obviously, the tariffs have been well covered. So what is happening right now is people are struggling. They're also struggling to find jobs, struggling to pay the bills, and this is the direct result of policy choices made by an economically illiterate president.
We're looking at the markets. The market futures seem to be saying, basically flat after this new report on inflation. Now, Congressman, you also in California represent a district, one of the highest Iranian American populations in the country. Mm-hmm. What are you hearing from your constituents there about what they want to see?
They're very concerned.
Okay.
If you haven't been followed, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you're covering the protests, but a lot of folks don't know what's happening in Iran right now. There are massive protests occurring organically across the country, and the Iranian government, it's an authoritarian, repressive regime, is cracking down with violence. They're also cracking down by eliminating access to the internet and cellular networks, and so people are very concerned about what's happening. My Iranian American population, very concerned about what's happening to their friends and family back home. It's one of the reasons I sponsored something called the Freedom Act, which instructs the State Department to look into how we can develop and deploy easy technologies that are already available, direct-to-cell type technology, so Iranians can get access to information. They can get in touch with their family and friends. This is one area where President Trump and I actually agree. We should be supporting the protesters, at the very least, with access to information.
So at the very least, with access to information, would you be willing to support them with some kind of military action?
I think that's probably not appropriate this time. I mean, we're already engaged in too many theaters across the world right now, and at some point these chickens are going to come home to roost. I think we have to be very careful and cautious in deploying the military around the world, particularly when families here at home are struggling. But that being said, deploying internet access, it's the type of thing that's easy to do, doesn't cost us anything. So I think we should look into things like that to support the Iranian people. But regime change I think we've already done one too many regime changes in this administration. We shouldn't be in Venezuela right now. That's going to cost us trillions of dollars. Not sure what the plan is there. I don't think we should be meddling in other countries as well.
You've been very vocal about the actions of ICE all over the country, but in your district as well. In terms of a possible legal action or oversight, what do you think would be appropriate?
We ought to be pushing as hard as we can, and I'm just going to say this. The murder of Renee Nicole Good, and it is murder. If you watch that video, it's very clear that this ICE agent acted with intent, was not self-defense. He shot her in the face apparently 3 times, and she would still be alive today if Mike Johnson, James Comer, and Republicans here in this body had been doing their job and exerting any kind of oversight. The fact that we did zero oversight on ICE and DHS and CBP, despite what is now clearly evident is a structural and systemic pattern of lawlessness, of violence, of attacks on civilians, including citizens, that basically gave the green light to this officer to do what he did. And so I put this directly on Mike Johnson. We need answers. I've written 2 letters to the Department of Homeland Security asking questions we need answers to, including Kristi Noem. Who are these ICE agents? What kind of training and background checks do they go through? What investigations are done when we see or hear about complaints of civil rights violations? We've gotten zero answers. This contempt for oversight, contempt for Congress coming from Kristi Noem, it has enabled lawlessness across the board through ICE. We need serious answers right now.
There are people calling for an impeachment. Would you support an impeachment of Kristi Noem?
Yes, I would, and this is not something I take lightly. Impeachment is the last tool you want to use. But when you have a secretary of a major agency who refuses to respond to questions or oversight from members of Congress, and you have all of the lawlessness that is happening under her watch, there is no other option for us other than to consider that.
Congressman